Vancouver. The name itself conjures images of snow-capped mountains meeting the sea, a place where the natural world and urban life coexist in a breathtaking dance. A vibrant cityscape teeming with life, where the energy of the streets is matched only by the serenity of the surrounding nature. Here, adventure is not just a possibility, it's a way of life. Whether you're kayaking in False Creek or hiking the trails that overlook the city, the spirit of exploration is ever present. Nestled on the southwestern coast of British Columbia, Canada, Vancouver is a city where natural beauty and urban sophistication collide in perfect harmony. It's a place where you can experience the best of both worlds. Its history is a captivating tapestry woven from the threads of Indigenous heritage, European exploration, and waves of immigration that have shaped it into the cosmopolitan hub it is today. Each of these elements adds a unique layer to the city's rich cultural fabric. The diverse communities that call Vancouver home bring with them traditions and celebrations from around the world, creating a vibrant mosaic of cultures. From the bustling streets of Chinatown to the lively multicultural festivals, there's always something to discover. From the moment you arrive, Vancouver's charm is undeniable. The city welcomes you with open arms, inviting you to explore its many wonders. Towering skyscrapers stand as testaments to its modern ambitions, reflecting the city's forward-thinking spirit and its role as a global player. While sprawling parks and the ever-present presence of the Pacific Ocean remind you of its deep connection to nature. Stanley Park, with its lush greenery and scenic seawall, offers a peaceful retreat from the urban hustle. It's a city that effortlessly blends its past and present, where heritage buildings stand alongside modern art installations, creating a unique and dynamic urban landscape, offering a unique and unforgettable experience for every visitor. Whether you're exploring the bustling Granville Island market or enjoying a coffee at an outdoor cafe, Vancouver has something for everyone. But Vancouver's beauty runs more than skin deep. It's a city with layers of history and culture waiting to be uncovered. It's a city with a story to tell, a story that begins long before the arrival of Europeans. The early days of Vancouver are filled with tales of exploration and discovery, a story that begins long before the arrival of Europeans. The indigenous peoples who called this land home for millennia have their own rich histories and traditions. To truly understand Vancouver, we must first delve into the rich history of its first inhabitants, the indigenous peoples who called this land home for millennia. Their stories and traditions are an integral part of Vancouver's identity. The indigenous peoples who called this land home for millennia. Their connection to the land is evident in the totem poles and carvings that can be found throughout the city, particularly in places like Stanley Park. Come, let's embark on a journey through time and culture as we uncover the many layers that make up the captivating city of Vancouver. From its ancient roots to its modern-day vibrancy, Vancouver is a city that never ceases to amaze.
Long before the first European settlers set foot on the shores of what is now Vancouver, the region was home to a thriving indigenous population. The Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, have inhabited these lands for over 10,000 years, their history interwoven with the very fabric of the landscape. Their culture is deeply rooted in a profound respect for nature. They lived in harmony with the land and sea, their lives dictated by the rhythms of the seasons. The ocean provided sustenance, the forests offered shelter and resources, and the mountains held deep spiritual significance. The legacy of the Coast Salish people is etched into the fabric of Vancouver. Their intricate totem poles, with their stylized depictions of animals and ancestral figures, stand as proud reminders of their artistic prowess and storytelling traditions. Their connection to the land and water continues to inspire Vancouver's commitment to sustainability and environmental consciousness. Today, the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations are active participants in Vancouver's cultural landscape. Their presence is felt through museums, cultural centers, and traditional ceremonies that offer glimpses into their rich heritage. As we explore Vancouver's history, it's crucial to acknowledge and honor the enduring legacy of its first inhabitants.
The arrival of Europeans in the late 18th century marked a turning point in Vancouver's history. This period was characterized by a wave of exploration and discovery, as European nations sought to expand their territories and influence across the globe. It was a time of exploration and discovery, driven by the ambitions of European powers to chart unknown territories and exploit the resources of this new world. The allure of uncharted lands and the promise of wealth and power spurred many expeditions. As European powers sought to expand their influence and exploit the resources of this new world, they sent explorers to map the coastlines and establish claims. These expeditions were often perilous, fraught with challenges and uncertainties. In 1791, Spanish explorer José María Narváez sailed into the Strait of Georgia, becoming the first European to lay eyes on the site of present-day Vancouver. His journey marked the beginning of European interest in the region. However, it was British Captain George Vancouver who would lend his name to the city. His expedition was part of a larger British effort to explore and claim territories along the Pacific coast. In 1792, he arrived on the HMS Discovery, charting the coastline and establishing British claims to the region. His detailed maps and observations were crucial for future navigators and settlers. His meticulous surveys and detailed accounts of the area laid the groundwork for future European settlement. These documents provided valuable information that would guide subsequent explorers and settlers in the region. The arrival of Europeans brought significant changes to the region. The landscape and the lives of the indigenous peoples who had lived there for millennia were profoundly altered. The fur trade emerged as a dominant economic force, attracting European traders eager to profit from the abundance of sea otters and other fur-bearing animals. Trading posts were established, becoming hubs of economic activity and cultural exchange. Interactions between Europeans and indigenous peoples intensified, leading to both cooperation and conflict. While some relationships were mutually beneficial, others were marked by tension and violence. The influx of Europeans also brought new diseases that ravaged indigenous populations, decimating their numbers and disrupting their traditional ways of life. These diseases, to which indigenous peoples had no immunity, spread rapidly and had devastating effects. The clash of cultures and the scramble for resources would forever alter the course of Vancouver's history. The legacy of these early encounters continues to shape the city and its diverse communities today, reminding us of the complex and often painful history that underpins modern Vancouver.
The mid-19th century witnessed the formal establishment of Vancouver as a city. This period was marked by significant changes and developments that would lay the foundation for the vibrant metropolis we know today. In 1858, the Fraser Canyon Gold Rush brought a surge of prospectors and fortune seekers to the region, transforming a sleepy outpost into a bustling frontier town. The influx of people seeking their fortunes created a dynamic and often chaotic environment, with makeshift settlements springing up almost overnight. It was officially incorporated as the city of Vancouver on April 6, 1886, named in honor of Captain George Vancouver, the British officer who explored the Pacific Northwest coast in the late 18th century. This incorporation marked a significant milestone in the city's history, providing a formal structure and governance to the rapidly growing community. However, Vancouver's early years were marked by adversity. The challenges of establishing a new city in a rugged and often unforgiving landscape were immense, and the fledgling community faced numerous obstacles. Just 2 months after its incorporation, disaster struck. The city, still in its infancy, was about to face one of its greatest trials. On June 13, 1886, a fire broke out in the woods near the city centre. What began as a small blaze quickly escalated into a full-scale inferno. Fanned by strong winds and fueled by dry timber, the fire quickly spread, engulfing the fledgling city in flames. The combination of natural elements and the wooden structures that dominated the cityscape created a perfect storm for disaster. Within hours, Vancouver was reduced to ashes. The once thriving community was left in ruins, with homes, businesses and public buildings all but destroyed. The Great Vancouver Fire, as it came to be known, was a devastating blow. The scale of the destruction was immense, and the emotional toll on the residents was profound. Yet from the ashes of destruction rose a spirit of resilience and determination. The community, though battered and bruised, refused to be defeated. The city's residents wasted no time in rebuilding their lives and their community. The sense of camaraderie and collective effort was palpable as people came together to restore what had been lost. Within days, plans were drawn up for a new and improved Vancouver, one that would learn from the mistakes of the past. The rebuilding process was not just about restoring what had been destroyed, but about creating a city that was stronger and more resilient. The rebuilding effort was swift and ambitious. New architectural designs and urban planning strategies were implemented to ensure that the city would be better prepared for future challenges. Brick and stone replaced wood as the primary building materials, and wider streets were laid out to prevent the rapid spread of future fires. These changes not only improved the city's safety, but also gave it a more modern and enduring character. The Great Vancouver Fire, though a tragedy, ultimately served as a catalyst for the city's growth and development, shaping its physical layout and forging a strong sense of community among its citizens. The lessons learned from this disaster helped to build a city that was not only more resilient but also more united in the face of adversity.